Like this goes out to all my dream chasers
now we're
out
ready to
there.
record. Oh, now you can actually.
Hey, Salt Lake City, stand up with me one time.
Now that it's recording.
And rock with a
So I
nigga.
guess that's kind of cool, so we can see what's in the picture and everything.
Ooh, my biceps.
I know
look
it's
great.
all over now.
Okay.
Hey, you are.
I hope you think about me.
All right, everybody.
I hope you think.
We're here to record our first episode of the Falling Forward podcast. We had somebody scheduled, but unfortunately, due to all of our schedules, we had to rearrange it. So this is just an intro to the Falling Forward podcast.
Introducing your hosts and co-host dog.
Yeah, my name is Zach Jones,
I'm Lauren Kwasniewski,
and this is Bob the Catahoula.
the catahuman
You can
sometimes.
Yeah, you can find him on Instagram. He just had a hoodie on because it was a little chilly out, but he made us take it off.
At Bob the Catahoula.
So, all right, well, we just wanted to kind of talk about the stuff that we're going to have on the podcast, guests that we're going to have. If anybody else wants to come on the podcast, just reach out. We're going to have multiple social media platforms.
We can drop all those handles and contact at the end of this first podcast.
Yeah, currently we have an Instagram, which is at Fallingforwardpodcast. We're going to be getting a Facebook for it now that we have just about everything set up. We're also going to have a Twitter account for it, and as soon as I understand Reddit a little bit better, we'll have a Reddit account.
Yeah, if you're a nerd. Also, shout out to Mandy for making these sick Falling Forward podcast cups. They were a Christmas gift. Actually, I
Yeah.
need to take that back because Mandy designed them and Lily actually made them. And she
Yeah.
made sure we knew that. So, pretty awesome. Thank you for that. One of the most thoughtful Christmas gifts we got for sure.
Yeah, and maybe we could work something out on the...
Skype,
No, not Skype. What is that website that we might put it on the promotive?
the promotive.
The subscription-based website. I'll figure that out, and I'll put it in the release information. But maybe we can work something out. People can buy these. And
Oh, buying the
proceeds-
cups. Oh, right. That
and the
our teacher.
Yeah, and the
we
proceeds.
could just reach out to the teacher. But yeah, if we become a cool enough podcast, we can have some other swag items on there people can purchase for sure.
Yeah, and I think, look, if we did these, maybe we could set something up to where it goes towards Lily's college fund or something like that.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, it would. I mean, since she's the one that really did the work, and Mandy would appreciate that too. Even though she's probably getting a scholarship anyways, but
She's shipping out here to live with us, don't forget.
yeah. So, all right. So, like, basically, we have a few different ideas for the podcast. The main idea is a podcast with people that have been through hard situations that have come out in a positive way or used their experience to benefit other people. If you think that that's you have a hard story to tell and you
Maybe you
didn't.
should run through some of the guests we already have lined up so people get an idea of what it is we're going to be talking about.
Well, until things are solidified, I'll just talk about them. So far, we have a local musical artist that's going to come on the podcast. It's been to, jail. Well, yeah, I already said it. So
Gonna leave it at that.
yeah, so he's been to jail, come out on the other side, released his first track and first music video not too long ago. I worked with him for a little bit at a part-time job I had a couple years ago. We're also going to have one of my good friends that I had no idea anything about his history, and he had a pretty rough childhood with parents that were a little aggressive. I didn't even know this about him, and he wants to come on and talk about it.
Single moms, domestic violence.
Yeah, we also have, the guy that's been through a pretty common thing, divorce. Apparently it's pretty hard. He owns a local business, and he's kind of, made it through that.
Anything else you want to say too? Like I said, we can drop our email at the end of this and reach out with any ideas that you might have too. We're open.
Yeah, and even if you don't think your story is that great, message it to us at fallingforwardpodcast@gmail.com. We'll send you a little...
Any underscores there? Or is it just
No, it's
Falling Forward Podcast? I apologize. I have no personality right now due to lack of eating as well as being sick. So I feel like a robot right now.
Yeah, and we just got back from the gym a little bit ago too, so it's kind of a little exhausting. But also, we'll have a pretty interesting guest on here as well. He's a local business owner. He's only been in the United States for, a couple decades, but he's made a very successful business for himself. Very sociable, nice person. I consider him a very good friend of mine. We'll have him on shortly. I just need to figure out a date with it too. Another business owner that has a pretty large-scale lawn care business and landscaping business that I work with. I like having somebody like a business owner on to kind of talk about what your options are, maybe motivate people to start their own thing, follow their dreams. And that's the biggest thing with this podcast is making sure that people know that if you just take the leap, you can, fly with anything you're doing.
It was really inspirational. Should
Yeah.
put on the wall.
I should. But I'm trying to think of any. I mean, there's actually quite a few people that have reached out to me, people that have had, different types of cancer and survived it. One of the people we're going to have on is one of our neighbors, actually, and he has terminal cancer.
It's not terminal.
Yeah.
He's in remission.
No, it's his bone cancer is terminal.
Well, this is awkward. Are you sure? I'm pretty sure he's in remission.
Well,
we'll get his story
he's had 5
regardless.
cancers.
Right, but he's in remission now. He has been for a while, I
Well, then
think.
what was it that he said?
I don't know, but that's regardless. It'll be a really good story to tell because he's one of the most awesome, kind-hearted people that we know, I think.
Yeah. And I probably just have my story confused as well. I talked to him a little bit over a Bloody Mary, so that's probably why I don't remember exactly what was said. But we'll have him on. He's an awesome guy. One of the most generous people that I've met. And I had no idea that he had even had any hardships like that, just by the way he carries himself and the way he talks to everybody around the neighborhood.
We'll also have a few calling guests. If you guys know me, you know I'm from Chicago, so we've got a couple friends back home that have some really great stories they want to share. So we'll get those on here. And sometimes I'll be co-hosting, sometimes not.
Yeah, and vice versa as well. It just depends on the story. Also, if you're more comfortable talking to a guy or more comfortable talking to a girl about your circumstances, that's something we can set up because I know there are things that people have been through that you might not want to talk to a guy about, even though this will be reaching, hopefully, more than 2 people, being Lauren and myself.
Well, we know we've got Mandy and Wendy in our corner.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
There's that.
Yeah, and Jared and Jordan, a few of my friends as well. But when you're in a room one-on-one with somebody, sometimes you just want to talk to.
Plus, this is super awkward. Like, I'm sure you guys can probably tell how tense I am right now. I think that hopefully as we progress, we'll be a lot more comfortable and maybe less pauses, a little bit more fluid. But I think our guests, we'll just try to make it as comfortable for you as possible. We got booze, too. There's always booze. So.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I'm going to follow Joe Rogan's footsteps that, maybe if somebody's not very comfortable, we can have a couple drinks and loosen it up a little bit. And also I'm going to start taking Alpha Brain and stop yelling on the microphone because I feel like I'm doing that now.
And I quit the kratom/kratom, whatever you want to call it. So hopefully my brain functionality will come back as well.
Yeah. Bob's still chewing on his bone. That's another thing. If you have any criticisms of this podcast, of our video format, our audio, the editing that I'll be doing, since I've actually never done any editing before, please let us know either in the comments, email us, Instagram, Twitter, maybe Reddit if I can figure that out.
Are you going to be able to? So in a lot of YouTube videos, people like point down and then they have their handles and hashtags and all of their social information. Oh, well, there we can put that in the comment section too. We don't necessarily have to add it up. As you can see, we're still kind of trying to figure this all out. We need to get the first one out there, so here we are.
Yeah, and I should be able to do that on the YouTube platform. Maybe there'll be a handful of people on YouTube, but I think most of our guests are going to be, or most of our viewers or listeners are going to be on a podcast, so we'll just have to do like an intro. And that should be good with it too. Shout out to my friend Jared for the awesome shirt. If you can see it, you can pick those up. I'll put that link in the...
You have toothpaste on your shirt.
Where?
I'm not critical of him at all.
Right. Apparently I wore this before, but it was hanging up, so I thought it was clean.
Yeah, in Chirac.
But yeah, that's it.
Should we wrap it up for this one?
Nah, let's not wrap it up yet. Figure out what else we can talk about. We got to get comfortable with it, so might as well make it awkward for the listeners.
Probably before we started the podcast, we should have had a list of items, but here we are.
That's okay. It'll teach us to get stuff off the cusp. Right now, we're using a GoPro for the camera, I'm not the biggest fan, nor is Lauren, of the wide
the
angle.
wide angle is atrocious.
Yeah, so we're either going to figure out how to use one of our phones. Lauren got the fancy new iPhone 10.
I prefer iPhone X. Thanks.
Yeah, and maybe we'll go with a camcorder, or I don't know, a new camera. But
Open to suggestions for sure, though, for anybody that has experience there.
yeah, I don't want to hear the professional bullshit that I need a 4K camera for $5,000
Yeah,
though,
it's not
because
happening.
I'm a cheap ass. So preferably something $300 or under. If you have any ideas, we're already into this podcasting stuff enough to where we probably won't make any money as it is. Hopefully we will.
Until we start renting out the studio.
Yeah, that's gonna be another option too. Is we're thinking about renting out the
Podcast,
studio.
not porn.
Yeah, well, I mean, if it pays. But if you have any interest in doing a podcast, we have all the equipment here. We have an H6 Zoom, a handy recorder, so all you would need is a SD memory card to plug into it. Then you just record. Right now we have 3 mics, but if we start renting it out, I think it'd be good to buy a 4th mic just in case somebody wants to talk about it. The room is, a little cluttered right now with outdoor stuff, but it is very good for the acoustics in here.
It's semi-heated, insulated for sure.
Yeah,
In the summer, we've got an air conditioner in here.
So we have a heater, air conditioner. We also have, you can see it at the top right of the screen, a monitor that you can hook up a computer to. We have HDMI, and then we also have an adapter for MacBooks. It has a little stereo. Yeah, I bought one. Well, you can't see it right now, but
Cool.
so you can either hook up an HDMI to the TV or a MacBook. And I also have a plug-in for the audio, 3.5 cords, so you can listen to the stereo as well.
Are you gonna, just total random tangent thought here, are you gonna insert any of the Chicago footage into this?
Yeah, maybe because the audio was so poor. I mean, maybe when we were sitting at the dinner table in your mom's house.
Oh, I forgot we even recorded then. So we drove over the Christmas break. I had 2 weeks off of work, and so because of Bob, we decided to drive to Chicago for the holidays. And on the way there, we split it up into 2 basically 12-hour days, and we got into a massive traffic jam that ended up off-roading into the country. And it was just kind of some interesting footage, but yeah, as Zach said, the audio was pretty terrible. So I don't know. We'll see what we can do there.
This is
Do you
Bob.
have something to say?
Bob. Hey, come here. Okay. Bob's a little camera shy right now. That's the other thing too. Sorry if I just yelled in it again. If you have any, questions, if you can hear Bob chewing in the background, he's got a little bone that he's been working on. I'm going to try to edit out as much as I can, but if it is annoying, let us know. We can figure something out. Also, we are going to have a dog in the studio, but if you want to come on the podcast and you're afraid of dogs
Or allergic.
whatever it may be, let us know and we can actually work that out to where there's no dog in here. It's pretty easy.
His hair's everywhere. We'll make sure we get that cleaned up.
Poke his eye out. But Patreon, that's it. So, sorry.
10 minutes later.
Yeah, that's how my mind works. But we're going to be opening a Patreon account. I'm not sure how soon we'll be doing that. But I'm going to release some stuff on it as well. We're still figuring out what we're going to do for the Patreon. I don't even know how it works. All I know is it's a monthly subscription to where you subscribe for $1, $5, or if you love us, $200 a month.
$10.
Yeah, $10. But should say that's racist.
Oh my god. Hopefully you can edit that out and/or nobody heard.
I'm leaving it.
Anyways, I'm getting pretty hangry. So.
Okay. But yeah, so Patreon. Oh, other thing. So we're gonna be mostly serious on our podcast. But what I'm thinking is on my on my Patreon account, on our Patreon account for the podcast, we'll be having.
He thinks this is his podcast, even though it's my idea.
She knows it's mine, but Bob's. It's actually Bob's podcast this whole time. We're trying to make him famous on Instagram, so if you want to go follow him at Bob the Catahoula.
Except we're half-assed trying to make him famous.
Aye.
I'll post the pictures, and then 3 days later, I'm like, can you put some hashtags? We're going to have to figure all that social media stuff out. I'll talk to some folks at work, too.
Yeah.
Bob needs to stop bumping this table because I'm sure our listeners are really annoyed.
Probably. We might have to get... That's another thing. If there's a lot of background noise that I can't edit out, we're going to get the microphone, the shock, whatever I can't remember what they're called, but we'll put those on there so there's less noise.
I'm gonna go Facebook Live for a second.
Okay.
Okay, continue. Carry on though.
All right. But so with the Patreon account, what I'm going to do, I think, is have my friends on, Lauren's friends on, vice versa, and we're just going to have a couple drinks, have fun, talk. I've got
Sorry to interrupt you really fast.
It's
Should
okay.
I? Oh, never mind. I'm not hooked in. I was gonna go live on Instagram on our podcast page, but nobody's really friends yet, so I'll do it on mine.
Yeah, so let's do we'll do that like when we have Mona on.
Okay.
But so for the Patreon account, I think I'm going to have a few friends on, people that are typically pretty funny
We are live and recording.
and outspoken. If you have any ideas for that, let us know. But you'll be able to, pay the subscription fee of $1, or maybe we'll release it like once every month or 2 months on our actual podcasting platform. I just don't want to mix up the serious stuff with something very comical and kind of annoying probably to some people that are following us because it's a serious motivating podcast.
Somebody has joined. Hi, Dave Evans.
Hello, Dave Evans. How are you doing?
He used to be our lawyer when
Oh.
I worked at Mentors International.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
You should come on the
You're
podcast.
on our podcast, Dave.
Yeah. But
I think that was just your phone telling you that we're live.
okay.
Okay. Anyways,
But
maybe throw our handle and email down one more time, and then we can wrap it
Okay.
up.
so we have one platform so far, and that is Instagram for Falling Forward Podcast on Instagram. Podcast. Is it?
Yes, just
Okay.
one podcast.
All right. And then Gmail, if you want to contact us, is fallingforwardpodcast@gmail.com. That'll be it. We'll have Twitter soon. Sorry to repeating it for the Facebook Live right now.
And then I will post this on my page, and then I will put our email down as well on our Instagram, so you guys can add it there. But
Okay.
okay.
But
Well, I'm gonna peace out of here. So
right.
bye.
bye, Facebook.
That was Instagram.
Oh, bye, Instagram. So, my buddy Jared is coming into town on Tuesday, this coming week, and I'm going to have another one of our friends, as long as our schedules work out, named Arian, that we all went to high school together. We're going to come on, have a few drinks, maybe a little too much, but it'll be pretty funny. I think I've always been cracked up by the two of them, and sometimes I think my dad jokes are funny too.
You know what'd be funny is like having one of your friends and my friends meet for the first time on here.
Yeah, let's do
And
blind
then-
dates too.
That's yeah. But I was gonna say like doing some sort of trivia game or something, having
Ooh.
them go against each other. I think
Yeah.
that'd be really fun.
We could set up that game on the TV.
The Mandy game.
No, that one too if we buy the Fire. But remember the one for the Xbox?
Yeah.
We can bring the Xbox
Yeah, that
out
would be
here.
really fun.
It would. That'd be fun. Yeah, that's the other thing too. So with
We
the TV here, we have like a bunch of ideas. So if you guys like these ideas, let us know. If you don't like them, keep it to yourself.
Or
But
tell us, then we just won't care anymore.
yeah, just be nice. We're new to this, and I don't want to, take it seriously and cry myself to sleep every night. But one of the ideas is that we'll get a group of friends together, watch a movie, just joke around. You guys can pick the movie, find the worst, cheesiest horror movie, comedy, whatever it may be. We'll watch it and comment on it at the same time. And if you guys like it enough, we'll release it on the regular platform. But I think that'll be a Patreon thing, just to keep them separate.
Yeah, I definitely think, like our teacher said, it's best to just move forward with at least like one underlying theme of whatever your podcast is. So
Yeah, but you guys can be the judge of it. Some of the podcasts out there, the platforms have, millions of listeners and viewers per month, and they're, back and forth with the stuff they cover. So whatever you guys think it'll work, whatever you guys will think.
we should
works.
probably go. We said we were going to wrap it
Yeah.
up like 3 times.
All right. I mean, we're at 19 minutes right now, so that's pretty good. These are dynamic mics we're talking on, too, so we're still kind of getting used to staying directly in front of the mic. It should be picking up most of the stuff we're saying, but, I'll
If
work
not,
on that.
yeah, this is definitely like a lesson learning first run through. So
Yeah.
we'll get better, promise.
But shout out to our teacher, Clint, for
Clint.
the work that he did teaching us all the stuff we know. The guests that came on as well. Really appreciate all the help that you guys have given us.
Letting us pick your brains. He's going to be excited. Hopefully
Yeah.
we're his first student to actually release podcast. You know who'd be cool to get on our podcast is the chick we met she's an is it an undertaker?
No, well, I guess that's the old
Her
term
and
of
her
it. She works
husband
in a mortuary.
own a mortuary.
Yes, that's kind of old.
Is that the
like,
same
I know
thing? I don't know.
she's older, so she
Anyways.
knows all the old like 1800 words and stuff.
Okay. Listen here, Sonny. Anyways, she owns a morgue or mortuary, whichever, and she has a really popular blog, and she's Salt Lake based, but she's gonna start her blog too, just of kind of the stories that she's experienced there and some paranormal activity and things like that. Which, if you know me, you know I'm obsessed with paranormal things. So I would love to have her on if we can get a hold of her. Maybe Clint can link us up somehow.
Didn't?
Oh, we know
She's
her
on-
blog.
Yeah, what's her blog?
I wrote it
though?
down. We'll check our notes later.
It's Lady something.
Yeah,
isn't it?
I've got
Anyways.
it written down for sure.
Yeah, we'll plug that as well. Also, from our podcasting class, if anybody is listening to this, the Salt Lake City podcast, maybe we can do a swap cast at some point. You guys can come on ours, we'll come on yours, whatever works. Hopefully, we'll release this on Friday, is when the release date for the Salt Lake City podcasts are, if I can figure out the witchcraft of Sony Vegas and Audacity. So we'll see. Also,
Thank God you're doing all the technical stuff. I can't be pretty and smart.
I could. Well,
Just kidding.
I'm not pretty, so yeah. But anyways, if anybody knows the witchcraft of Sony Vegas,
I don't
or
even know what these things are.
it's the video editing software.
Okay.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna incorporate Audacity because it's simple into Sony Vegas. So I'm gonna do the audio on Audacity and then the video on Sony Vegas. If you guys know how to do both simultaneously, or if there's a better way, if you guys are fluent with it, please let me know. We can figure something out. I own a landscaping lawn care business, so if need be, we could do some trade work, or I can feed you in tacos because some people say they're good.
Zach's tacos are the best.
So, all right. Well, everybody, thank you for listening. If you haven't, please listen next time because you suck if you haven't.
I'm
But-
feeling a little bit more comfortable now. I do apologize for my awkwardness in the beginning. I feel like my personality wasn't really shining through, but I'm ready to punch you in the face because I'm hangry. So
Yeah, that's
can you
normal.
feed me, please?
I need to put a shield up on this table so that when this happens, I'm safe. Because as soon as I go inside, it's scary, you guys. I'm afraid for my life. But the other thing, too, is Kansuki.
What?
Our tagline, our outline, whatever you call it.
Our
Find your,
outro?
find your gold? Yeah. So
Let's save that. That's like a story. We should save it for the next day. Say it, leave them hanging, and then maybe that's how we can open it next time.
all right. I'm probably not saying it right, but it's called Kansuki, or Kansugi. Thanks for listening. Love you guys. Bye.
Love you long time. Bye.